On Donald Trump's negotiating dream team consisting of Vice President J.D. Vance, his son-in-law Jared Kushner, and his golf buddy Stephen Witkoff went to Switzerland this weekend for high-stakes negotiations with Iran regarding that memorandum of understanding that we have everybody talked about last week. Nobody was really happy about it from both sides of the aisle. Democrats and Republicans basically said, like, this isn't a good deal for us whatsoever. So Donald Trump was desperate for some positive news. And to be honest with you, it didn't look like it, first of all, did it? Like, I was under the impression, looking at the news yesterday, that the Iranians got quite upset about Donald Trump bashing them on Truth Social and Fox News, saying, I'm going to blow the shit out of you, you might not have a country anymore, you might not even make it back home, and so on and so forth. So I was under the impression the Iranians just walked out of the meeting. But then this morning I saw J.D. Vance giving an interview before returning home, and he made it sound like there might be actually a positive takeaway from that meeting. Here, listen what J.D. Vance has to say.
All right, to Fox News Alert, Vice President J.D. Vance wrapping up remarks in Switzerland just a short while ago, revealing that the United States and Iran made great progress on peace talks overnight.
Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst joins us from Tel Aviv. Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. High-level diplomatic talks wrapped up in Switzerland overnight, aimed at solidifying the memorandum of understanding and entering into this next phase of negotiations. Both Qatar and Pakistan released a statement indicating that a committee was formed, and this structure reached an understanding on a roadmap for the technical talks over the next 60 days. A U.S. diplomat involved in the talks told Fox News that some of the discussion was focused on clarifying the confusing messaging on the Strait of Hormuz to ensure it will remain open, adding that robust discussions on all elements of the nuclear deal are ongoing. This morning, Vice President Vance said that the U.S., along with Qatar, will have oversight of any unfrozen Iranian funds and that some could go to purchasing U.S. farm goods. He also made a major announcement on access to Iran's nuclear program.
This is probably what we're most excited about as Americans. The Iranians have agreed to invite IAEA inspectors back into their country. That is a major milestone for the American people and the first step in permanently denuclearizing or permanently ending a nuclear weapons program in Iran. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. That's exactly what we asked to happen.
Well, J.D. Vance also said this, and I have the quotes from NBC News saying, "We laid a very good foundation for a successful final deal," Vance said at a press briefing before departing to the U.S. "The final deal is the house. We set the foundation. We haven't built the house yet, but we've laid a successful foundation to get a good peace deal for the American people," he said. So J.D. is basically, telling us here, there's no deal. And I mean, we all know JD is kind of a conspiracy theorist that lives online. I've heard Susie Wiles, the chief of staff of the White House, saying multiple times, JD is giving too much attention, too much effort of what's going on social media. So I'm pretty sure JD knows that the feedback that everybody agreed on that MOU is like two things. A, what's happening to the Iranian nuclear program, which you guys told us is the main reason we went into this war, to begin with. Nothing in there about the details, what's happening to the uranium that's on site. We're talking about 440 kilograms of, highly enriched uranium. Nothing in the MOU. It only says, like, we're going to look at that at a later date. And then the other one is Iran having access to like a boatload of money. And I'm not just talking about that $300 billion investment fund, but, sanctions, being connected to the international banking system, which allows them to bring money home that they have sitting abroad, selling oil, all that kind of stuff. So why is the US spending billions of dollars and, some say 50% of our mission stockpile bombing Iran just to give those guys access to, billions of dollars in return? So JD is saying there might be a chance that they're buying U.S. agri products with it, maybe soybeans. After we basically did our soybean farmers dirty last year, after imposing those tariffs on China, while China being our number one customer for American soybeans. And in retaliation, China basically said, you know what, I'm not buying your soybeans anymore. I'm going to Argentina and buy my soybeans there because you guys gave them $20 billion so they could reduce their tariffs and taxes on soybeans, making it more affordable for me, China, to buy these soybeans like somewhere else. Like basically being so stupid to subsidize the Argentinian, soybean soybean market and soybean farmers, while our farmers being stranded, with nothing. But JD also talks about, Iranian inspection on their nuclear stockpile, on their nuclear program, which is basically just bringing us back to, square one, right? Which is what we had 2018 in the JCPOA before Donald Trump decided to shred that deal because he hates Barack Obama. But we had, unannounced inspections, we had cameras, we had sensors, like we knew exactly what was going on with the Iranian nuclear program, and that basically just takes us back to square one.
What we told the Iranians yesterday is when you guys engage in what us millennials might call trash talk, you can't expect the President of the United States not to respond and not to correct the record. So when they say things that aren't true, the President is going to respond to it. I'm going to respond to it. Americans are going to respond to it. When they make threats that aren't rooted in reality, they have to accept that the President of the United States is actually going to set the record straight. That's all that happened. So yes, there was a little bit of threatening, there was a little bit of whining, but at the end of the day, the talks continued and we made great progress.
I'm confused. JD is saying the Iranians engaged in trash talk? I thought Donald Trump was the one who went on Truth Social and Fox News and basically said, I'm going to blow the shit out of you. You won't have a country anymore. You won't even make it home. I'm going to control the Strait of Hormuz. I'm the ones collecting tolls. I'm taking 20% of the oil that goes through there, like in commission and like all these like things. And then Iranian officials got, upset about that and walked out and basically demanded an apology from Donald Trump and also said that the fighting in Lebanon has to stop. And now JD Vance is saying the Iranians were the ones who engaged in trash talk and Donald Trump was the one who had to set the record straight. So like that is like kind of confusing. I thought it was like the other way around, but that's the kind of, honesty and transparency you can expect from the Trump administration. But talking about Israel and Lebanon, here's what Fox News had to say about that.
The Iranians also acknowledged major progress in the talks, adding that a deconfliction cell for Lebanon will be the first real test of the understanding. Israel and Hezbollah did not trade fire on Sunday for the first time since March 2nd, according to the UN. In response, Israel lifted all restrictions for civilians in the north of the country. In a call with Fox News on Sunday, President Trump said he was disappointed Israel can't put Hezbollah away.
Listen, here's my point. While I certainly do appreciate that this weekend was kind of the first day since the beginning of March where there wasn't any fire exchange between Israel and Lebanon. And I also like the idea that you create a safe zone in northern Israel, like in Lebanon as well. But the fact is, Bibi is facing elections in October. Yeah, and he is always the most popular when he's in conflict, when he can sell himself as being like the strong war leader. He has no interest in getting this, sorted out. He's going to face corruption charges. He's going to face all kinds of charges if he doesn't win his election in October. And right now it looks like he still has a chance to win, but it doesn't look like his party, neither the opposition will have enough votes for a majority. So he needs to go into a coalition of some sort. And he has no interest in ending that conflict whatsoever. And then, speaking about Epstein, we know we only have half of the files released. 3 million files. There are supposed to be 6 million files total. We only have the files Donald Trump wants us to have. That's a fact. And I'm convinced that Benjamin Netanyahu holds the keys to the Epstein files. And that's where he has Donald Trump on a leash, basically saying, you do what I want or I'm going to release those files and you're going to help me to get re-elected in October. So I think Donald has a decision to make, what's worth losing the midterms in November in a landslide because he has to keep engaging in this conflict to make sure Bibi wins his election in October, or basically defying Bibi and risking getting some Epstein secrets out, which I'm convinced he's terrified of. So he put himself in a box, and I don't want to be in his shoes, especially not looking at his ankles. I don't want to be in his shoes, but that's my take on it. But yeah, that's the update about Iran. The other funny thing, you all know we got going on is the mess we have with the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, right? It's been a disaster, but it's also funny to watch. And I've taken clips from both angles, from Fox News and from MS Now. And the difference in narrative here is astonishing. Look at what Fox News has to say about it.
Well, I'm not a scientist, so the algae thing, I mean, I believe that's what happens in bodies of water such as this, so I don't think this is President Trump's fault. But what's so irritating to me about the left here? President Trump is trying to make D.C. nicer. D.C. is filled with Democrats, okay? He's making it nicer because, yes, he happens to live there for the next couple of years, but you all live there all the time because D.C. is made up primarily of liberals and Democrats, right? He's trying to make it nicer for you. He's trying to make it safer for you. He's trying to make your reflecting pool nicer. He's trying to spruce up the place, and they go out of their way to damage and to vandalize it. It's like during the BLM Summer of Love when they're burning down businesses in their own community. It's like you have to be pretty stupid to do that.
Well, there you have it, folks. Donald Trump only fixed up the reflection pool for Democrats because there's mostly liberals and Democrats living in D.C., right? And you also have to be very dumb to vandalize like your own gift, kind of. Yeah, and that's the entire point. Like you said it yourself. You have to be so stupid to do this because it never happened in the first place. And while I do appreciate the fact that you said like you're not, a pool expert or you're not a scientist, you're not an algae expert, like that's what happened. You painted this thing dark. Dark attracts the sun warms up the water, algae blooms, you guys put, hydrogen peroxide in there, and now we have a mess. And just going on the air, and saying Democrats and liberals vandalize the reflecting pools because they don't want Donald Trump to succeed is one of the stupidest things I've heard from Fox News like in a while. And I've heard a lot of stupid things from Fox News since I moved here from Germany 10 years ago. So astonishing. But, here's the other side. Let's hear what Emma's now has to say.
It's Caligula fighting the ocean. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, arrest the sun.
Arrest the sun, arrest the algae.
People are going out there, like, making the algae worse? I mean, I don't know.
No, that's the thing. He's literally sicking the troops on a microscopic organism. He is sending the National Guard to the reflecting pool to arrest people who touch the water.
Yeah.
It's absurdist. And also, he's killing the baby ducklings, which...
Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong, while it's hysterical and fun to, talk about arresting the sun, arresting the algae, sending in the National Guard to fight a microorganism, it's also kind of sad that at the same time, we as a country with, Kash Patel running the FBI and Todd Blanche now running the DOJ, aren't able to convict anybody based on 3 million Epstein files. Like we still have the ICE agents who shot Winnie Good and Alex Purdy out on the streets with no, accountability whatsoever. And here we are sending in the troops to arrest people for touching water. I thought I've seen it all, but maybe I didn't. But, thanks to you guys for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.